Persist, persist, persist. Affirm, affirm. You have to take responsibility. Everyone is you pushed out. You're just simply not getting what you want because you're not persisting enough. Neville Goddard said this, therefore, it is like this. Hello everyone, my name is Naya and welcome back or welcome to my channel. On this channel we talk about manifestation, law of assumption, quantum physics, esotericism and so much more. And on Patreon I like to make extra videos to inform you better about this wonderful universe. DM coaching is also down below if you ever will feel the need. But let's talk about these sentences that are thrown out in this community and in my opinion have created a pendulum, an egregore, a thought form, however you want to put it. I'm going to make probably on Patreon a video about pendulums, egregores, what they mean in the esoteric world. But how many single times have you heard people telling you it's your responsibility, you should be that girl, confidence looks like this. If you're not like this, it means you won't get your manifestation. This is the way to do it. You just have to affirm. You get unwanted circumstances is all your fault. The entire world is yourself pushed out. Neville Goddard has said this, Holy Bible. Now, through the study of quantum physics, I have learned that all statements are true. So I'm not saying with this video necessarily that persisting is not true. I'm not saying that Neville Goddard was inherently wrong, or I'm not saying that affirmation don't work. However, I open my mind to the fact that every statement is true, and in my opinion, there cannot be one and the only way for everyone, because that is very invalidating of a personal experience. We come here with a subjective perspective, with different desires and experience, and even the way we perceive things in our existence is very personal to us. And even teachers and prophets that give us an amazing knowledge in regards to the law, we still have to remember they were only people. Now, this is a little bit of a rant video. I will try to be as polite as possible because I have been into manifestation for many, many years. Everything that I say comes from my personal experience, and I do talk with some coaches and we do confront on this matter. Personally, I think that the law of assumption is great as everything that has truth, generic truth in this universe is great and definitely has changed my life. However, I credit the majority of my success when it comes down to my manifestation to one single aspect, which is I've always been an independent thinker. I have always read through multiple sources and I have carved my own method which works for me. And in no shape or form I am imposing this method on other people. I'm suggesting it and I'm always saying carve your own method from the formula that I'm giving you, which is just a generic formula to manifest. However, I feel that the law of assumption community has become a bit of a thought form and it is starting to remind me a bit of a cult. Like, I'm not necessarily pushing this debate and saying, oh my God, the law of assumption is a cult. I am saying, though, that you have to be careful with what you're listening to, and you also have to validate your own personal experience, thoughts, and ways of living. Because in the internet, there is this thing of generalization. Now, we see generalization and polarization a lot in many expressions in the internet communities. Like, you have to be, if you're into yoga or well-being, it's almost like there is a set of rules that you have to respect that most of the time are correlated with image, that unless you are adhering to the standards, people feel guilty about themselves. It's almost like if you don't have a morning routine for yourself, or as a YouTuber you don't show your fancy morning routine in a white table, you're not even considered reliable when it comes down to your teachings. That's why I don't do routine videos, because my routine will be extremely boring with me just waking up in the worst pajama ever, taking my coffee and having all my hair messed up, because this is life. Nobody is that perfect. My kitchen is not completely organized and absolutely cleaned, washed, whatever, like you see on YouTube videos. It's a freaking mess. I'm clean, but I'm just who I am. And it's fine if you want to organize yourself and organize your home like many of these influencers do, you do you. I'm saying that with all these communities, it's almost like a standard is in front of everyone's eyes and everyone has to do the same thing. I personally had enough of this. I don't think this benefits, and this is only my opinion. Of course, you're more than happy, like, please comment down below, let me know your opinion. I think we can grow from each other and from different opinions. So in no shape or form I'm saying that I'm right, I'm just ranting this out, so big disclaimer. But I don't think that, you know, people can be perfect in that way. I don't think that people, there is one golden rule that everyone has to adhere with, and it's going to magically transform their life in better ways. I think that experience teaches a lot, and even when it comes down to the law, you, through your own experimentation, find the perfect formula for you. You create your own rules, and then your life changes for the better. It's almost like sometimes, and I don't mean this to attack any other coaches or YouTuber whatsoever. I think everyone is wonderful. I genuinely mean this. This is just an observation on my part. When I'm seeing, it's like, you know, how do you know even that all the success stories they're sharing are true? Like, this is the way my brain works, and I don't care if people say, oh, but you are assuming it. But seriously, you guys, like, I know human beings. I don't take as face fact everything that I hear online, because there could be people that are making success stories up just to sell their products. Now, I'm not pointing fingers to anyone, but I always like to watch everything with a critical mindset, and I always prefer when people talk about their personal experience, because at least it just comes from a little bit of truth in their life, and it's not imposing on other people a standard that they have to meet. And I mean, a standard that usually is created in the law of assumption communities, like, you cannot even question Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard was great, but was he right about everything? Probably not. Like, I give the example, Neville Goddard was against daydreaming as a manifestation technique. I don't agree with him. I manifested with daydreaming. I've always been manifesting with daydreaming. But how did I discover that? Because I questioned things, because I experimented, and I analyzed myself. Now, we see this sort of culty behavior in self-development communities. It's almost like every single person out there, especially in this newer generation, is so focused on themselves and their self-improvement, which in and of itself, it's not a bad thing, but it can become detrimental to mental health when it's like saying, oh, you know, this is how you should look like, this is what self-development looks like, so you got to change yourself. I don't believe in that. I believe that people don't have to change. I don't believe that even that everyone is you pushed out to the extent where you are feeling guilty for every single bad stuff that is happening in your life, and you're feeling guilty about the Ukraine war, and you think that you have pushed that out. I don't believe that at all. I think that sometimes human beings do horrible things, and sometimes without any victim mentality, we do witness in our lives some horrible treatment, and these are lessons that we have to learn in order to become better people, and in order also to learn how to better this planet, better our consciousness, maybe put some boundaries, you know? So I think that we have to take all these statements of truth with a pinch of salt. Now, I was talking yesterday with a friend of mine that she's also a life coach and a manifestation coach, and she was telling me how one of her clients was suffering from heavy anxiety, and other people advised her to just affirm and assume that she never suffered from anxiety. Even though the statement of assuming that she never suffered from anxiety is true, wouldn't it be also true and logical to perhaps go to a therapist and start a therapy to curing that anxiety, since it's very heavy and maybe is really causing some tremendous issues in this person's life? And like my friend was telling me, she couldn't even believe that she could do this. And guys, like, we need to address this. If you're feeling sick, and anxiety is just an example, but if you're feeling sick, stop saying, oh, everyone is you pushed out and I'm assuming that I'm sick, so I'm just gonna heal myself. Even though there is truth in the fact that the body can heal itself, if I'm sick and I am a manifestation coach, I go to the doctor. Just use common sense, because manifestation can come in millions of ways and in infinite ways. And sometimes going to the doctor and manifesting the perfect, prescription for you, plus also doing the affirmation, might be the best and path of least resistance way in which you're gonna get what you want. Now, also another thing that I want to address as a little bit of rant is this entire idea of SPs being like, persist. If he's not or she's not conforming in the way that you want, it's your responsibility. Persist. Now, I don't agree with this. Now, I do agree with persisting, and I do agree that sometimes people give up too soon. However, I've always put a time crunch on my manifestation, which I'm going to make a different video about. Even when it came down to my XSP, I give it a time crunch. For me, if the situation wasn't going to improve within matters of 3 months, I was moving on from that person because I love myself enough to do that. So now that is my personal time crunch. Your personal time crunch could be a year from now, 2 years from now. You do you. However, how healthy it is to persist in trying to change someone, and I'm not saying that you can't. I'm saying, should you waste all these weeks and energy that perhaps you could use to manifest to someone better, and that time that you're spending manifesting this person is time that you're wasting being with the right person for you, that is ready for you now and is totally available in the quantum field. This is something, I'm not saying I'm right, but this is something that I want people to address, and I wish they could reflect upon, because I think that setting these solid standards and parroting down the same teaching to everyone sounds very much like brainwashing to me, and I think we should be aware of this and become independent thinkers. That's always how my mind just reason in this way, because personally, from my experience, what I can say is that yes, I've been very successful with manifestation. However, am I happy that I gave up on certain individuals? I didn't persist, and now I'm 10 times happier with my boyfriend. 100%. I am happy that I gave up on certain manifestation. I am so proud of myself that I didn't persist, because persist is something great, and sometimes in life you have to persist, but you always should check how you feel. I am glad that I didn't persist in a career that I was doing before, because otherwise this channel wouldn't even exist and I wouldn't even be happy in the way that I want to. Now, did I persist in my dream of being myself and earning money just by being myself and teaching other people? 100%. However, I didn't persist in it has to be only with this channel. It has to be only with this way. I opened myself to infinite possibilities and infinite ways in which I could get what I want. So I persisted in the dream. I persisted in the wish fulfilled, but I didn't sit stagnant in one path that wasn't really going anywhere. And I'm happy that I did this, because that allowed me the possibility to create again this channel and have more abundance and happiness for myself. Same went with my SP. When I noticed that I wasn't happy, I don't care if everyone is you pushed out. I don't care what other coaches are saying. I am not going to stay in a situation that makes me feel miserable, even though it could be true that everyone is you pushed out. I do not care. I am not going to waste my time with people that are not sure about me. I am not going to waste my time and energy for changing someone that I will eventually not even like it happened. I will shift that energy to manifest someone that is right for me and is ready for me now. And I'm so glad that I took that decision, because I am so happy. I've never been this happy in my life with someone. So far, so good. You know what I mean? So this is all great. All the teachings are great. And talking about teachers, Neville Goddard is not the only teacher of the law, mind you. There are so many teachers: Florence Scovel-Shinn, Vadim Zeland, Joseph Murphy. There are modern teachers. There is Eckhart Tolle. There is Abraham. There are many. There are many. Oh my God. I Frederick E. Dodson. Read everything, and don't take as face value everything that is even written in this book. Try it first and see what works for you, because life, it's not one straight answer. Life is about your experience, and if you are indeed the creator of your own reality, should you be able to choose which rules and which ways that you want to create for yourself to manifest? And maybe for some of you guys out there, persisting, especially if you have been persisting for years, is not the key. You need to know your belief system, and rather than just fight them so hardly, work with them. So for instance, if you have certain belief system around relationships or money, sure, you are progressing and you're changing them for the positive, but don't fight them. Use them. So how could I put it? I don't have a belief system that allows me to think that I can manifest. I said this millions of times. They can manifest $1 million out of thin air. Is it possible? Probably 100% is possible. Do I 100% believe it? Probably not. Will I experiment it? Maybe one day down the line. However, I don't force that. I don't force that belief system. I don't want my life to be forcing and putting effort. I manifest in steps. And so I manifest 5,000, then 10,000, then 20,000, depending on the needs of the day. And that works wonderful for me. And so it goes with everything else. You don't have to reprogram your entire mind that is being created years and years ago, and with genetically speaking stuff that are coming from our prehistoric time. There are certain things about our body and the brain that have been there for generations. So how could you think that in like a month you can reprogram everything? You could, but should you? Is that necessary to live a happy life? No, it's not necessary. Let's just be honest and realistic around this. It's not necessary to reprogram centuries of genetic stuff in your brain. It's not. Maybe we're going to do this through time, but you certainly don't have to do it in a month to manifest love and abundance, which is the prime needs that human beings want. So, and even this, and I'm ranting out a lot, I understand that, and I apologize, but even this stuff of making people feeling guilty for unwanted circumstances. Now, I'm perfectly aware that reality is a mirror. Fine, I get it. However, an unwanted circumstance happened. Do not feel so freaking guilty about it. It just happened. Learn the lesson, analyze yourself, move on with it, and be yourself. Enough of setting standards of how high value women should act and behave, how a manifestation coach should act and behave, what people should say on YouTube to be cool and appreciated and create views. When I removed myself from this mentality, that's when magic started to happen in my life. I don't care. I don't care. Like, I don't need to dress in a certain way for people to think that I'm reliable in what I'm teaching. I am assuming that people are intelligent enough and empathic enough to understand when a person is truthful and honest and full of integrity. That's my take around life, because it's like, even I want to say this again. I was watching like a TV show yesterday on Netflix, and many people were single and complaining they couldn't find love and stuff like that. And these people were talking like robots with quotes that are taken from the internet, and that blew my mind. They were like, a high value woman should never do this. A queen doesn't. And I'm like, where are you taking the sentences from? You're a human being. Be yourself. You don't always have to be perfect. You don't have to be a high value woman. You don't have to be, I'm so confident. There is beauty in insecurity. There is beauty in vulnerability. There is beauty in weirdness and quirkiness, and just be yourself. And the person that is meant to be for you will love everything about you. Maybe I still believe that you can find 100% of your love list, but like, even when I met my boyfriend, I wasn't that hyper focused on the list. I forgot about the list. And does he have something that bothers me? Not yet, but maybe one day he will have something that bothers me, and nobody is perfect. But I am committed to focus on only the positive, because I know that I care about this relationship. So adjust, guys. Don't take all these quotes online and affirmation, and don't allow people to tell you how you should live, think, act, and feel. Be you. Carve your own method, and don't fall victim to the pendulums, the thought form, the egregore that people are creating for you, and they're not even aware that it's a pendulum. So take everything. The love assumption is great, But if you have persisted or you have tried a method for years that is not working out for you, maybe it's working for other people. Accept that. It's not working out for you. It means that you need to find something else. I mean, it's the definition of insanity to do the same thing and expect different results. And we need to, as teachers, in my opinion, we need to open our mind and realize people are different. There is beauty in difference. People are unique. They're all coming from different experience, and we should give them a huge set of methods in order for them to find what is meant to be for them. And some people are so used to this polarization of like, this is the way and it's the only way, that they find that when people are more open-minded, they're contradictory. We are not contradictory, but we know that we don't want to invalidate your experience, and we want to give you tools for thousands and thousands, if not millions of people who have come from different experience, thought forms, personality, and ways in which their brain lights up. So the brain functions differently for every single person. Now, we do have commonalities sometimes with each other, of course, but we don't all function the same way. And because we don't all function in the same way, when I hear very generic suggestion on how to live your life, how to be high value or this, I usually take it with a pinch of salt, because I feel that sometimes this subculture invalidates personal experience. We should cherish our personal experience. We are constantly manifesting, and your way of manifesting is the best. Do you learn from other people? 100%. I learned from Sammy. Sammy was so important for me to learn about the law. She opened my mind and she made me manifest so many things. Then I decided to create my own method, coming from Neville to what Sammy was saying, and other coaches as well. And now I'm very happy and confident about what I'm doing because I experimented in my experience. And I am sure that Neville will agree with this. So I don't know, I'm just ranting out a lot of stuff mixed together. What are your feelings about this? Do you feel that sometimes in online communities of any kind, it feels like they are pendulums, or cults are created, subconscious cults, unconsciously, they set up standards that people cannot meet? Do you feel in this way as well? What do you think is the solution? What are your opinions? How can we better this? I want to know your thoughts, okay? So yeah, that's it for today. I will surely go back to more interesting videos, but I really wanted to do this rant because, you know, fuck it, it's my channel. I'll do what I want. I love you guys and see you very soon. Bye.